guys.
David, you'd be thrilled with the Josh Battle compensation. Gives you a pretty strong hand in this year's draft.
Yeah, we're pretty pleased. We think it was fair and reasonable, and it gives us a great sort of draft hand. We've said for a couple of years we're going to keep going to the draft, keep bringing young talent into the club. So, yeah.
Is there any chance you could use those picks for any established or mature talent?
2 days ago we found out about the compo pick. We've spent the whole weekend at the draft combine, so we haven't had any real conversations about that. But yeah.
What did you make of Andrew Mass's speech at the best conference about the system and the way it's set up? Do you share those views?
I loved that the leader of our club stood up and stood up for our club in what he thought and felt were some inequities in the equalisation model. I'm not going to go into it too much, but I think as a club, we acknowledge that we've probably been our own worst enemy for a long time, which Andrew did in his speech. But we're going to stand up for ourselves as a club moving forward, as well as getting our own house in order. So we, as a football department, we loved that the leader of our club stood up and put a stake in the ground for St Kilda Footy Club.
Just on the B-net, was it a bit rough not allowing Josh to attend?
I think that's been dealt with both by Josh, and I think Cal Wilkie spoke about it as well. So Josh is now a Hawthorn player. I think we move on.
From your point of view, Dave, what's wrong with the system and why is St Kilda not benefiting like some other clubs?
We've been talking about just paying a fair price for talent all the way through, and not getting too much into the structure of the model per se. But we just think paying a fair price for talent is what equalisation's about, and that's what Andrew and the club has been talking about consistently over a period of time.
Do you expect Soldo to be a Kilda player by the end of the trade period?
He's currently still a contracted player with Port Adelaide, and there's a fair bit of work to do if that was going to happen. And we're at 2 hours into the trade period, so it's a fair bit of work to be done.
Has he told you he'd like to play?
We haven't had interactions there, but we've read what's in the press and we've heard the noise, but as I said, we're 2 hours in and it's a fair bit of work to do there.
What is the interest level and what appeals to you about Soldo?
Well, it's probably more a ruckman. We've let Tom Campbell go. At the moment we've got Rowan Marshall and Max Heath on our list. So look, it's an area that we probably need to build, whether it's with Ivan or someone else through the draft or whatever. But we feel that ruck stocks are pretty important. Probably been reasonably lucky in a way that Rowan's been able to play every game the last couple of years. But we want to sort of backfill that area and make sure that we've got some support for him.
So have you mentioned
for you today that conversation with Power, not necessarily?
Not really. We just need to sit down and really stipulate what our strategy is going to be before we start moving into discussions there.
Dave, you mentioned the club's been its own worst enemy in terms of its drafting over a long time now. Do you feel like that trend has turned? Have you got confidence in your recruiting department now to be able to make the most of these picks, which you say the club hasn't always done in the past?
Not so much our drafting, just generally as a club. But what I will say is that we've done a pretty good job the last couple of years with the players that we brought in. You look at Filippo. 2 years ago, played every game. We debuted all of our new draftees this year, 5 new players, plus Angus McLennan, who was a 6th. So, we have a look at 2 really strong drafts, probably 3, and history will tell you that you need at least 4 drafts to start to build a Final 4 team. So, we're looking at another really strong drafting period this time. But to answer your question, we have a lot of confidence in our list management and recruiting team. And we feel that this is going to be another good period for the club.
Sorry, can you talk on the process of picking up one of the Sandringham Zebra players this year and the kind of group that you are picking from the season?
Yeah, we'll just keep working through that. We spent a lot of time looking at the Sandy players during the year, obviously, and we use some of our NGA kids to play for Sandringham as well. So we'll keep moving forward with that process.
So you're talking about paying a fair price for talent. Can you remember a couple of circumstances where you feel you haven't paid fair price and it's got the better of St Kilda?
Not really, off the top of my head. No, it's more just a general feeling that we sort of lobbied reasonably hard for the AFL with the DVI in particular to make changes this year. Obviously, they felt it was too soon, but we're looking forward to those changes coming in next year. And yeah, some of the northern clubs, probably in particular, having to pay a fairer price for the talent that they're developing. Yeah.
Just with Brad Crouch, how's he going? Is he expected to be okay at some point? His knees?
Yeah, look, he's in a pretty strong rehab plan at the moment. He's also doing some work outside the club, building his life. So yeah, Brad's on a pretty tight rehab plan, which we're comfortable with, and we'll see when he comes back from leave, how he's shaping up there.
It's a big commitment to Max King, Dave. Can you explain why the club has so much confidence there?
Yeah, well, we look at metrics, we look at the character, we look at the potential, and I think it's just a great thing for both the club and Max to show belief in each other. And we're just really pleased that he was able to commit. We're pleased that we've now got we can put a long-term plan into place for him. But we just believe in him as a person and a footballer that's going to really take our club forward in the next 8 years.
Will team members stay?
Look, Tim's one of a group of players who, we still haven't made a final decision on. We've got a fair bit of time to do that, so we'll just see what plays out the next, couple of weeks.
And Jack McRae, where are you at with that one?
Similar to, where he's a contracted player at another club, a fair bit of water to go under the bridge if anything was to happen there. We need to talk to the Bulldogs, but very, very, very preliminary conversations.
How does bringing in a player of that age group fit with building through 3-4 drafts in a row to get to the premiership side?
We're, as I said, we're a long way away from bringing in a player like that at the moment, so we've got a fair bit of work to do if that was going to happen. Thank you. Cheers.